Not from any of those places. Our next comic's a good friend of mine. He is doing a half-hour storytelling show at Bunga's Den on Saturday at 8, and on the 28th at the Creek, his show, You Can Use That. Please welcome to the stage, Will Carey.
Thank you, John. Keep it going for John, everybody. He's doing a great job. So I've seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens twice now, or as I like to call it, I've been going to church a lot lately. People compare Star Wars and religion all the time, and it's completely a right thing to do that because, because normally I'm a pretty mellow dude. I'm pretty sedate. I have the mentality of a manatee that likes jazz. Just wearing my hat and just leaning against the wall, smoking a cigarette, and just it's not about the notes you play, man. It's about the notes you don't. But when I watch Star Wars or talk about Star Wars, I become infused with the excitement of a Christian youth pastor. I don't know if you've been to church lately, but when everyone at church is always really excited to be at church. At church when they all hold their arms up like they just started to do the YMCA and then got tired. That's how I am with Star Wars. I want to talk about my theories and be like, guys, Finn was a totally groovy dude. He was exactly like Jesus. He was tempted by the dark side, but then he saw the light. Does this also mean Jesus was black? Well, let's not ask too many questions. So, and then I pull out my acoustic guitar and then I play a mellow acoustic version of the theme song, just ba 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 ba. I'm gonna do this for the next 10 minutes. Ba 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 da. That's how I do it. Anyway, I also recently saw The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight to me is a really inspiring story. To me, The Hateful Eight is the inspiring story of two guys who overcome their racism with their sexism. Just I hate you because you look different than me. Well, why don't we join together and hate her because she's different than us? And that might be an interesting way that you could shift the dialogue in this country, because I've read a lot about addictive personality. Drug addicts that get off of drugs still have the addiction personality. It's just shifted to something else. I know addicts that are really into ice cream, and I think if you could get someone who just really hates a group of people and then get them to shift that hate to something harmless, you could improve society as a whole. If you could just shift someone's hate towards people of different races or sexes and just make them shift it to plants. If we can just start a movement of plant-based racism, then things could get better. Be chlorophyll, get out of my country. I don't want you on my plate. I don't want you near my house. I don't want you greening up my house. Come on. Anyway, that's what I'm. This is what I think about. This is what I think about when I have spare time. I like that the new way that we've decided to say that we want to have sex with strangers is saying Netflix and chill. That's the thing. Because of all the streaming media options that exist, that's the best option. For example, if the phrase was Hulu Plus and relax, that's something Ted Bundy says if he were a millennial. And then if the thing was Amazon Prime and let loose our inhibitions, you're already done. You're in a pit somewhere, being tossed an iPad. I found out recently that my old roommate was on heroin for much of the time that I was living with him, and that explained a lot of his behavior, because he used to hide all of our spoons in his room. And I was going through the drawer the other day, and I pulled one out and it looked like it had been sculpted by Salvador Dali. It was just in the shape of an L. I was I have to throw that away because I don't want to eat a bowl of cereal and then be sleepy 3 minutes later. So be that is great. Why is the room spinning like a dryer? Yeah. The universe is infinite, yet I stay still. When I was in college, I dated a Goth Hanson fan because I didn't know that I deserved better. And she suffered from something called seasonal affective depression. If you're not familiar with seasonal affective depression, it's when the leaves change colors and then you talk in metaphors for 3 months. And I'm sympathetic, but I feel that seasonal affective depression is the most privileged of all the depressions. Because comparatively, things have to be going okay if you get sad that the trees are now bare. Because other cultures would ask you, what is a tree? Everywhere I look, it is just sand and regret. Why do I live where I live? I need to upgrade to Spotify Premium because I'm tired of having orgasms to ads for CarMax. Spotify knows I live in New York City. Spotify should know I don't have a car. And if I had a car, I probably couldn't afford to go to CarMax. Have to go to Progressive. Here's something. I was thinking about that rap music video that was set in a strip club that one time. You remember that one? It's kind of niche. It's a niche genre. So I'm specifically referencing the Nelly music video for Tip Drill in the year 2003. If you haven't seen it or if you don't remember it, there's a scene where Nelly takes his credit card and swipes it down a girl's butt crack. And I personally would love to know how that appears on his credit card statement. It's like 11:53 p.m. Chastity. Ironic name. And it's to the point now that technology is starting to catch up with contemporary rap music. Because you can now pay people with like a smartphone app. And you can pay people with PayPal. So it's going to get to the point where you could have tip a stripper with PayPal. You could just say, girl, I'm going to make it rain in 3 to 4 business days. Maybe 4, because it's Columbus Day on Monday, girl. Columbus Day. That's a federal holiday. What about it? I saw a guy wearing a t-shirt with an outline of the state of Texas on it and a gun on it, and the t-shirt said, "We don't dial 911." And that made me feel really bad for everybody in Texas who's ever needed a fire truck. It's like, yeah, my house was on fire, so I shot it 63 times. I considered the fire an act of aggression. Did you like me, John?
No, not yet.
All right, cool.
Oh, now I am.
All right, Kirby. I'll tell you this last thing. I think that the darkest prison cell is still not as dark as the brightest call center. Because prison cells have something call centers don't. Hope. I've had a lot of these types of jobs, and there is no more damning feeling than when someone sends you an email and then immediately comes up to you and goes, "Did you get my email?" And say, "I haven't read it yet, I'm waiting for it to print." Alright, I'll tell you guys one more thing here. I recently got the chance to perform stand-up comedy in Istanbul, Turkey. To give you an idea, that gave me, they don't speak English at the comedy clubs there, so I had to learn Turkish in 4 months. And the first thing I learned in Turkish was how to say goodbye. And a formal goodbye in Turkish is "Alas modik." So to tell someone goodbye in Turkish, you say "Alas, small dick." To which I replied, "We have that as a goodbye in English as well." Alas modik, everyone. I'm okay. Thank you very much.